I'm Jill Ploskanka, alumna of Montclair State University, and I'm here to share some practical ways to help you develop yourself to become a leader or enhance the leader you already are. For the last 8 years, I've overseen the Center for Leadership Development here at Montclair State University, where I support students, alumni, faculty, and staff with leadership development. We provide developmental workshops, one-on-one consulting, training, retreats, and an annual leadership development conference. Through our services and programs, we strive to empower others to develop their skills, abilities, and knowledge for leadership. When I think about leadership, I think about these 5 names: Michelle Ansbacher, Chris Fitzpatrick, James Murley, Helene Becker, and George Jusdan. What do all of these alumni have in common? They are all leaders. From serving as the SGA president to rising up the ranks at Prudential, and all of these leaders continue to serve the Montclair State University community. Each person possesses different leadership traits, experiences, skills, and knowledge. They are all seen as leaders in different ways. If we look at what leadership is as it relates to those alumni, we can consider ways in which we can all continue to develop as leaders. Learning and development are a lifelong process. They go hand in hand. I'm not going to tell you what leadership is today, because there are 7.4 billion people in the world, and each of us has our own understanding and definition for what leadership is. Instead, I'm going to show you a simple way of discovering your own understanding for leadership and how you can develop into the leader you wish to be. So consider what you think leadership is. It might be based on a list of leadership qualities, traits you may have observed in someone else, service, volunteering, dedication to followers, having and following a vision, or is it some of everything? This week, I asked my Psychology of Leadership class what they think leadership is after almost 3 months of learning 10 theories, reviewing 101 leadership qualities, completing 5 self-assessments, watching TED Talks, setting goals, and completing weekly community service. They collectively agreed that leadership is about crafting the leader you wish to be through observing others, reflecting, understanding the leadership qualities that you possess, and learning from negative situations. These undergraduate students see leadership as a process rather than a definition listing leadership traits. Leadership is also about failing forward. Think about a time you were not as successful as you may have hoped. Maybe it was in a leadership role, at work, or even in your personal life. The information we gain for failing or not being as successful as planned is simply information. This is failing forward. It is what we do with this information that determines our success the next time. So start to think about successful leaders you know. They did not become successful overnight. Leadership is truly a process. Much like everything else in our lives, leadership takes time, effort, and the desire to grow into the leader you wish to be. It starts with how we develop ourselves as individuals that determines our ability to become leaders. My purpose today is to help you think about leadership as an ongoing process. Since it means something different to everyone, we must go back to the basics. These simple concepts are meant to provide you with a foundation to develop yourself as a leader. Whether you want a new job or a promotion, a leadership position, or even to develop your ability to just display leadership, this basic process will support your development as a leader and as a person. We call it ASAP. Let's start with awareness. Awareness is the foundation for leadership. Often I will interview someone for a position and ask what are their strengths and areas for development. More often than not, that candidate is unaware or lacks confidence in their own strengths and weaknesses. Having an awareness for both allows us to own the strengths and capitalize on developing our weaknesses. Additionally, We must know our own abilities and strengths before we can lead others. A great way to learn more about who you are as a leader is to attend workshops offered by the Center for Leadership Development, also known as CLD. Sometimes a simple concept such as grit or emotional intelligence can open our minds to what we possess at the core of who we are. Once you are aware, you need to make time for self-reflection. Think back to a time maybe you miscommunicated, not whose fault it was, but what didn't line up, and why was there miscommunication? This type of practice allows you to reframe situations, see different perspectives, and gives you the opportunity to self-reflect. Self-reflecting provides you with a new lens for situations, leadership, communication, and an overall sense of how capable you really are as a leader. My students have to write self-reflective journals. When they connect to past situations and observations that happen, that is where they learn the most. While these assignments take the most of the time, I hear more often than not that is how they learned the best, through these structured journals where they have to self-reflect on strengths and areas for development. While we all have busy schedules, I challenge you to set 30 minutes on your calendar to self-reflect, connect strengths to future opportunities, and think about your own personal and professional development needs. After self-reflection, you need to find ways to apply what you've gained through application. Consider challenging yourself to try something new. These opportunities may not come to you. You may need to seek them out. Consider doing something that may make you feel slightly uncomfortable, but know it will support your development to become the leader you wish to be. I'll never forget, I had just graduated from Montclair State, and I was a newly hired staff member who had never spoken publicly before. My supervisor asked if I would present information to parents at orientation all summer long. While I had no idea what I would be doing in my future, or even in my career, I said yes. I was aware that public speaking was not my strength, and that I could probably develop it regardless of what I was going to do in the future. This was my opportunity to challenge myself and to do something that made me uncomfortable. As a result, I'm able to present workshops. I'm able to teach classes for the last 11 years, and I've learned more about my leadership style through it all. We have to think about our purpose to understand why we do what we do. We also need to think about our vision if we want followers to understand where we are going. If you've ever thought about your purpose, or maybe you've never thought about your why, consider watching Simon Sinek's Start With Why TED Talk. His message rewires our brains to think more about the core of our existence first, our why, before we start to think about how we will work towards our purpose. Also, consider writing down your goals. Did you know you are actually 80% more likely to obtain your goal if you write them down? If you make time to self-reflect, consider adding a few minutes for goal setting. I want to end on resources that exist to support you as you develop further as a leader. The Center for Leadership Development offers all services and programs free to alumni. I want to highlight the Leadership Institute, which is a free, full-day conference. We start with a keynote. Participants select from 17 breakout sessions, all designed for alumni, staff, faculty, and students. Additionally, we have an advanced leadership development certificate program, which starts each September and goes through April. Participants receive a certificate at the end of the completion, along with a ceremony. We always provide ways for you to speak publicly and give you those options through volunteering to present for the leadership development workshops. Additionally, let's look at this list of resources available to support your development. I'm going to highlight a few, but each one offers something different depending on your needs. Taking online classes on websites like Coursera.com can be beneficial to your own development and also enhance your resume. This website offers classes and certificates from universities like Penn State and Stanford. Consider using LinkedIn, not as a way to connect, but as a platform to find new opportunities. Almost 2 years ago, I was scrolling through my LinkedIn feed and found an opportunity for a free leadership coach who was finishing his certificate program at Georgetown. I quickly emailed him and applied to be considered as his next client. We spent this next 6 months talking over the phone weekly about my professional goals, my personal goals, and my areas for development as a leader. With his support and great coaching questions, I was able to achieve my goals and gain a new perspective on who I was as a leader. As a result, I found I became more effective as a leader and found ways to adjust my style to better serve those around me. I hope that you can take away that leadership starts with you and ends with you. If you wish to be the leader you look up to, then remember ASAP, awareness, self-reflection, application, and purpose. These simple concepts can help us develop into the leader we all wish to be. Thank you for your time, and please know the Center for Leadership Development is here to support you as an alumni from Montclair State University. You are always welcome to reach out to me at any time. Thank you.